Welcome to the Spooky Scary Show. We are two friends in two different states who discuss all things spooky, scary, and just downright strange. We read news stories every week. If you would like to suggest a topic or submit a paranormal story, email us at spookyscaryshow@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for spooky facts and updates.
Hello, Pinky.
Hello, Dolly.
So, the craziest thing happened. It's not like super crazy, but it's funny. This evening, so me and Charlie, we went out to get dinner, to finally get some food. And, all of a sudden we see this, kid, just run, and it's, in a shopping plaza, so we're like, wow, that's weird, see a kid run. And then as he, ran in front of us, I noticed that he actually had a handle of Captain. And I was like, oh
my god.
So that's what he doing. And then, so when he gets, a few feet away from us, we hear the shout, "Hey, you, get back here!" Next thing you know, we see a cop, doot, doot, doot. And then the kid, he was short. He had to probably be 14 or 15. He dropped the bottle and it shattered everywhere. But he managed to, weasel away. And so there was, cops zooming around everywhere. I don't know if they caught the kid. But then across the street, there's a Circle K. So I'm assuming there was, friends, other people that got in trouble and stuff. But I'm like, oh my god. I thought that was funny.
Who does that remind you of?
I was an angel.
Yes, we never broke any laws.
No, never stole any alcohol. Because the first thing I said to Charlie, too, was well, if you're gonna do a beer run or an alcohol run, you want to make sure your getaway car is right there, because it was just, middle of a shopping plaza. I didn't even know, where he got the alcohol from. So I'm you have to have a getaway car, dumb bitch. But
or at least a plan. I mean,
yeah.
We used our Chevrolets, but we had an escape route. Or we were sneaky.
We did. Or a decoy, yeah.
Hypothetically.
Decoy?
Not admitting to any crimes. This is all hypothetical. If that were me, I would have a getaway plan.
Yeah, and if that was me, I would make somebody be a decoy to ask about kitty litter.
Shitty.
Oh, we were so crazy. Anyways, so that was the highlight of my evening.
Crazy shit. And where do you live? Scottsdale? Glendale?
Chandler.
Oh, same thing.
Yeah, basically. Well, actually, no. Scottsdale's filled with all, the rich people and wannabe rich people and the people who think they're rich but they're really poor. It's crazy.
Anywho, how's your week been? You got your teeth pulled. How are you recovering?
Oh, God. Let me tell ya. That was a journey. So, one of my teeth, my wisdom teeth, okay, I'm a tiny person, so I have a tiny mouth, and one of my wisdom teeth was actually lodged up in my sinus cavity, and that's the side that I bruised the worst that you saw, and I puffed up, but when they pulled the tooth, they actually had to inject some foam up into my sinus, and they told me I'm not allowed to sneeze for 2 to 3 weeks.
With that.
I've been sneezing like crazy. So I'm oh god, I hope I'm okay.
Just don't hold it in. Don't, not sneeze.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So basically, the right side of my face is the worst. Like I said, it's bruised up, it puffed up, an incredible amount, because he said, he was figuring out everything. He was learning on this side. And then by the time I got to my left side, it was a lot easier. It's a lot less dramatic or whatever. So anesthesia. So let's get into that whole thing. The night before, well, leading up to it, honestly, I was freaking out because I'm scared that I wasn't gonna wake up. I've never been put under, so I didn't know how I was gonna react or if I was gonna have an allergic reaction or anything. So I was freaking the fluff out. So I said a little prayer to my grandpa, and I was like, Grandpa, I was please watch over me, and if anything happens, please be there waiting for me on the other side, basically. Aww. I'm like, I know, I was like so scared. So, I was fairly nervous, waiting in the waiting room, and then they call you back. I was sitting in the chair, and they hook you up to heart monitors and everything, and my heart was fine. It was, resting. It wasn't elevated or anything, and I felt really calm in the office and everything. And I only got super nervous when a whole bunch of people started to swarm in the room. But when he was getting me hooked up to everything, my grandpa actually came up in conversation, which I thought was kind of cool. My tattoo says Dolly there, so when he put it in, he was like, oh, who's Dolly? And then I was like, oh, that's my nickname, my grandpa, and, everybody in my family calls me Dolly, and everything, and he's like, oh, and then he started talking about his grandma, and she made the best cookies, and, anyway, so, boom, they knocked my ass out, swarming people came in, my heart rate shot up, and then he's like, okay, bite on this block, and I was like, okay, and I bit, and as soon as I bit on it, it blacked out. It was just like, boop. And I don't know if this was when they were trying to wake me up, or if I was put under and I could hear them talking. But I could, I mean, I can't, I can't recall what they were saying, but I know it was voices talking and stuff. When I was put under, Charlie, my boyfriend, he's like, I wonder if they can keep her wisdom teeth. So he asked the front desk lady, and was like, hey, do you think they can actually keep, Dolly's teeth? And the lady was like, I don't know, let me go check. And it turns out they can't, because they cut your teeth into 4 pieces. Oh. And then they pull it out.
Ew.
I don't know, but yeah.
There's something with, biological contaminant, too, called blood.
That makes sense. When I first woke up from anesthesia, I guess I asked them, and I remember, I asked them if I could keep my wisdom teeth, which is really crazy, because me and Charlie did not ever talk about me keeping my wisdom teeth, at all, and then he got all freaked out, he was like, what the fuck, I already asked them, and so we thought that was, a little, spooky, spiritual moment, I don't know.
Mind reading, same mind waves or something?
Hell yeah, same vibration, I'm like, I know you.
J-Rock and I do a lot of that. We'll be thinking the same thing, and finish each other's sentences.
How cute. Oh my god. Just kidding.
Well, that's cool.
I love that stuff, though.
It sucks that you didn't get to keep them. That'd be pretty cool. I'd turn them into a necklace or something for you, or a creepy ring or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Because the roots on them are so... It's crazy. It's crazy. I didn't see them, obviously, because I was just... Oh, when I woke up, I just kept on saying, they're so nice.
Aww.
Just over and over. I was like, oh my god, they're so nice. And, that was not fun. And then I was in the worst amount of pain in my entire life for about a week, and my jaw didn't unlock until Thursday afternoon.
You look like a frickin' chipmunk.
Yeah.
Hella.
Yeah. As soon as the anesthesia and everything wore off, I couldn't even open my mouth, so I had to clog a straw, tip my head back, and drip a smoothie down my throat so I could eat something that day. It was
horrible.
Brutal. Yeah. Yeah, boy.
I thank the universe for only giving me one very small wisdom tooth that has erupted, and they keep trying to take it from me, but I'm like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, you don't need to, bitch.
I probably will get it pulled eventually, though, but I don't think they'll have to put me under, just because it's, right there, and it's not super intrusive. It's sensitive to sugar.
Is it really? That's random.
Uh-huh. It hurts when I eat sweets.
Huh. Oh, you know what? My coworker was saying he had a wisdom tooth that did the same thing, and it eventually just, all 4, basically... It was so sensitive, he was just like, you're gonna have to rip this out. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, maybe it's, underdeveloped. It doesn't have the enamel coating that all the other teeth do or something. There's, exposure. I don't know. It's weird.
Huh.
They don't say that it's rotten or anything. I go get it checked out, and they clean it, and they haven't said anything.
It's here,
When Jonathan's dentist was pulling his teeth, He's like, hey, you want to come over and see? Get right in here. Like, best view. I'm like, nope.
Oh my god, no way.
Goodbye. Yeah, you wanted me to come over and watch.
No.
Good.
Yeah. Teeth pain is the worst. It's hands down, I've had like a lot of dental work. I've had to have basically all of my baby teeth pulled because none of them fell out. So I had 2 rows of teeth. I had my adult teeth coming in and then all my baby teeth, and then I had braces forever, and it's just
oh god, you jacked up.
Thanks, Dad. But hands down, teeth pain, mouth pain, it's the worst. Ugh. Hate it.
I haven't experienced a lot. I had that one tooth that broke in the back, and so I had like half a tooth for a couple of years, and then I had to go get the root canal, and that sucked. I don't know if I'd ever do that again. But they put a temporary crown on it, and I had the temporary crown on for a long time, and it was the most annoying, irritating, itchy, achy thing. I'm like, there's something wrong with this root canal that I paid $500 for. I'm gonna have to have it pulled out anyway, and I'm gonna be freaking pissed. But once they took that temporary plastic crown off and put the gold one on, it was fine. Like, I remember they, I don't think that they numbed me. No, they didn't numb me.
Oh, God.
So they're in my back tooth, and they popped off that crown, and she put, like, a bunch of weight to, like, wrench this crown off my tooth, and it went, pew, like, out of my mouth.
Ah!
And then she's, like, digging in my gum line around it, but it felt so good for her to, like, itch the tooth. This was, like, the itchiest, I don't know. It drove me crazy for months. I'm just like, oh. She's like, I'm sorry, you have to, like, dig around your gums. I'm like, don't stop.
That's gross. That's crazy. I wonder why it was itchy.
I don't know. I just wasn't reacting well to that plastic crown, or maybe it wasn't, like, I don't know, it was in my gum line or something. I don't know.
Something. Dang, that's crazy.
I have a really short teeth, so, like, they were gonna make me, like, a white crown, like a tooth-colored crown, but he said that there wasn't... It'd be easier and it'd be stronger for him to make a gold crown, and he asked me if I cared about having a gold tooth. I'm like, nah, that'd be cool.
That's right. That's cool.
I'm a pirate.
That's right, B. Don't want to mess with me.
Anyway, 15 minutes later, talking about our teeth.
I know. That's okay. What is our topic today?
Today we're going to talk about curses. And it's going to be awesome.
I am beyond excited. My story is so good. And I know your story is really good, but I'm like I'm so amped. I hope nobody's heard of mine before. But we'll see. Oh, before we get started, was there something that you did want to touch?
Yeah. Real quick, I just wanted to bring up the fact that we have had 323 downloads since we started this podcast in September. Whoop, whoop. So we're super grateful and excited that people are listening to us. However, we noticed that we haven't had, like, any comments or no following, no likes, or we just don't have any feedback on anything from you guys. And we were just wanting you to give us some feedback. If you have 5 minutes, answer our little survey that we have. We really want to know, do you like us? Do you think we suck? Just tell us, please. Mm-hmm. I'm going to leave a link for the survey in our description, so you can follow that. It'll be much appreciated.
Yep. And feedback, it is super important because, like, our main platform or our main listeners actually come from Spotify, and that's not really like a interactive platform where we can actually, get to know our ghosties and really, hear your side or your thoughts or your opinions. And anyways, it literally takes like 3 minutes at the most, and just tell us what we can do better, and we'll kind of go from there.
It helps us.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, what's going on with these curses?
So, I have a little background on curses. They are magic spells, which are placed upon people or places with the intentions of harming them. The misfortune intended by curses can range from illness and harm to even death. Curses are declared to be the most dreaded form of magic, often called black magic, and are believed to be universally used. The principal purposes for them to be laid or thrown are for revenge and also for protection of homes, treasures, and gravesites. Curses can become effective immediately or may be dormant for years. Curses laid on families have been known to have plagued them for generations.
Hmm.
The use of curse has been practiced by many cultures. The most universal method of laying on a curse is by effigy, which is an image or representation of the victim or the person who is wished to be harmed. Waxed effigies were common in ancient India, Persia, Egypt, Africa, and Europe, and currently are still used. Also, effigies can be made of clay, wood, and stuffed cloth, kind of like voodoo dolls. Often the effigy is marked or painted to look like the victim. It is thought that the closer the effigy resembles the victim, the more the victim will suffer when the effigy is harmed or destroyed. As the effigy is harmed, so the victim is harmed. Likewise, when the effigy is destroyed, the victim dies.
100% nope. Big old cup of nope. Nope, nope, nope. Black magic? Hell no. Nope. You don't want to mess with the black magic. It's crazy. Like, I want to go to Louisiana and everything, and supposedly that's, like, pretty hype down there and stuff. But no, you don't want to fuck with that stuff. Hell no.
No. Most definitely. Voodoo. Yee.
Who do voodoo? You do.
The voodoo that you do. The ancient Egyptians often used wax figures of Apep, a monster who was the enemy of the sun. The magician would write Apep's name in green ink on the effigy, wrap it in paper, and throw it into a fire. As it burned, he would kick it with his left foot 4 times. The ashes of the effigy were mixed with excrement and thrown into another fire. The Egyptians also left wax figures on tombs.
What? Okay, excrement? What?
You mix the ashes of the effigy with poo, and then throw it into another fire.
Damn, son. They like, we really trying to get this guy today.
We gonna crap on you, sir.
That was right.
Literally.
Literally. I shit you not.
But a bunch. That's awesome. So, like blessings, curses have universally been bought and sold throughout the centuries. With the exclusion of the neo-pagan witches, witches and sorcerers throughout history have performed both blessings and curses as a service to others because both are calling on supernatural powers to effect a change. They have rendered these services to clients for fees or for carrying out judicial sentences. More about waxed figures. They were popularly used during the Middle Ages and Renaissance in Europe by numerous witches. King James I of England described such activities in his book Demonology.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, it was written in, 1521? I don't remember.
Oh my god, that's cool. I want to look it up.
So there's some alternatives to melting the effigies. You stick them with pins, thorns, or knives. Animal and human hearts have been used for substitutes. Hearts, animal corpses, or objects which quickly decompose, such as eggs, are buried in the ground with spells that the victim will die as the objects deteriorate. I think that's something that is used in Santeria.
Oh shit, that's crazy. What a painful death.
Right.
And long death.
Yeah, it's almost like it's just
Your
a
whole
natural death and not actually a curse, but who knows? Who knows? In Ireland,
man.
In Ireland, cursing stones are stones that are stroked and turned to the left as the curse is recited. It has been frequently claimed that gems and crystals possess the power to hold curses. I have a crystal, or a gem, that holds a curse in one of my other stories.
Oh shit. Oh damn.
This one's about hexes. The word hex is sometimes used synonymously with curse. Among the Pennsylvania Dutch witches, hex can designate either a good or a bad spell. In neo-pagan witchcraft, some witches use the term hex to designate a binding spell, which is different from a curse. A curse is the expression of desire of harm to come to a particular person. Anyone can lay a curse on another person, but it is believed that the authority of the person who lays the curse on increases its potency and makes it more dangerous. Such persons are believed to be priests, priestesses, or royalty, persons possessing magical skills such as witches, sorcerers, and magicians, and persons who have no other recourse to justice, such as women in many societies, the poor, the destitute, and dying. Deathbed curses are the most potent, since all of the curser's vital energy goes into the curse. There is a belief that if the victim knows that he has been cursed and believes that he is doomed, that the curse is all the more potent for the victim to cause his own demise. However, many witches and sorcerers claim that curses can be just as effective without the victim's knowledge of them. They further say that they would never let the victims know the curse had been laid on him, because then he might go to another witch to get it removed. People feeling that they have been cursed will go to a witch or a sorcerer, sometimes in ignorance, to the same person who put the curse on them. Ain't that some shit?
Oh my god, they just making some bank, son. That's it, job security.
Right. If the witch or sorcerer has laid the curse on the person, then he makes an additional fee for taking it off. When two opposing witches or sorcerers are involved, a magical war might erupt to see who has the stronger magical powers.
Oh, that's some shit I want to see.
Right.
That'd be so awesome. Like, get like a little wizard hat and be like, pew, 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 pew.
I don't know if it's quite like that, but
Yeah,
that would be cool.
It doesn't sound cute. I mean, you gotta do, like, sacrifice animals and do the blood and, don't like it.
Yeah. Humans are weird, yo.
Yeah.
In the various traditions of neo-pagan witchcraft, it is against the ethics and the laws of craft to lay curses. Most witches abide by this, thinking that the curse will return to the curser in the same form as given. Although there are those that believe cursing against one's enemies is justified. Witches from ethnic cultures such as the Italian striga, the Mexican bruja, and branches of the Pennsylvania Dutch also believe that cursing is justified. Just as many methods exist for breaking curses as there are for making them. If a magically charged object has been hidden in someone's dwelling, it may be discovered by divination or clairvoyance and ceremoniously destroyed. Sometimes other banishing rituals or protective workings are used to overpower the curse. Protective talismans and amulets can be worn, and magical oils and washes can be used to attempt to lift the curse's effect. A major side effect in removing a curse is that when the curse is broken, its energy can recoil on the person who cast it.
Oh, shit.
And if such person has not taken adequate precautions, then he/she may end up receiving the entire effect intended for the curse's victim. Traditionally, the best time for laying on and breaking curses is during the waning of the moon. In its most basic meaning, a curse is a prayer asking that a god or similar spirit brings misfortune to someone, the opposite of a blessing. It is also the effective implementation of the god's wrath against the victim of the curse. Other sorts of curses are imposed by magic or witchcraft, such as the evil eye, or by the use of voodoo dolls. Certain objects or places are said to be cursed. Sometimes the curse was allegedly laid with a purpose.
And that's my story. Oh, can't wait.
I've actually heard of this one before. I'm sure a lot of people have too. This is called the evil eye curse.
I know the little, like, necklaces and the amulets that you can purchase and everything, and I know it's, like, India, I think, but I actually don't know anything, like, about it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know anything about it too. I just know that, like, the jewelry, like you said. Kind of cool.
I'm like, well, that's cute. That's pretty. It's like
boho. It's boho.
Yeah.
Can't say I'm not guilty of that.
Like, hashtag bohemian goddess. Just kidding.
Give him the stink eye.
That's right, Tigor. My cat is giving me the stink eye.
Oh, if we don't get the evil eye curse. So, eyes are said to have special powers. They are said to be the gateway to a person's soul. Shifting eyes are said to subtly betray liars, while a steady gaze may be endearing or menacing depending on the circumstances. Eye contact can create an intensely personal connection, whether between lovers or superiors and subordinates. Glaring or intense staring can convey power and authority over another. And of course, actors use their eyes to convey a wide range of emotions, including love, hate, disgust, boredom, scorn, surprise, and envy. In fact, it is this last emotion, jealousy, that underlies the evil eye's cultural association with magic.
Ooh.
Belief in the power of the eyes is so powerful that any eye affliction has come to suggest evil and bad luck. People who are cross-eyed, your cat,
I know, he's right by me. Oh my god.
have an uncontrollable eye twitches or spasms, or who merely have a prominent squint have been shunned and feared as provoking bad luck, especially among those who work in dangerous occupations such as fishing and mining. Similarly, those with unusually close-set eyes or different colors were often suspected of having the evil eye.
Dang, son, that's crazy.
This is kind of funny. Babies and children are said to be especially susceptible to harm from the evil eye, and in many countries, including Greece, Romania, and India, praising a child publicly is sometimes considered taboo, for the compliment will draw the attention of the evil eye. In order to ward off the evil eye, parents of a thoughtlessly praised child may ask the person who gave the compliment to immediately spit in the child's face.
Dang! Like, what? Thank you for not lying, Timmy. No, Mrs. Pinky, you must spit in Timmy's face right now.
I mean, twist my arm. Just kidding. I love children.
Just kidding. Oh, that's awesome.
The momentarily exalted youngster has been brought down a peg. Any harm by the evil eye is unnecessary. This little spittle salve is harmless, yet insulting enough to negate the compliment.
Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
Oh, God. So who has the evil eye? Maybe you do. Many believe that bad intention is not necessary, and that some people can cast an evil eye without even knowing it. If one person is believed to have the evil eye, other members of his or her family are often treated with suspicion, and any children are assumed to have the curse as well.
Huh.
These are protections. The best way to deal with the evil eye is to avoid it in the first place. The method varies by culture, geographic region, and personal preference. In Latin America, the evil eye is known as mal de ojo, and belief in it is especially widespread in rural areas. In Puerto Rico, for example, newborns are often given a good luck charm called azabache to protect them from the evil eye. Amulets can be worn to deter the evil eye, often using the color blue, symbolizing heaven or godliness, and an eye symbol, like what we were talking about.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's in, like, so many different, like, backgrounds. That's crazy.
All over. Charms, potions, and spells can also be prepared. Garlic can be used to deter the evil eye, and some believe that just saying the word garlic offers protection.
Garlic, 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 garlic.
Garlic, garlic, garlic. It's like that.
Garlic, 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 garlic.
Oh, God. Often those who believe that they have been harmed by the evil eye will seek out shamans, witch doctors, physicians, or other spiritual healers to remove the curse. There are several ways to cure mal de ojo. One traditional method from Mexico involves the use of a raw egg. The egg is a universal symbol of purity and birth and is said to absorb evil energies as it passes over the forehead and prone body of the victim. The egg is then broken over a bowl of water, and the resulting forms closely examined for any unusual shapes. An oval or eye shape seen in the yolk or whites is said to indicate that the evil eye's power has been successfully removed from the victim. Some claim that the gender of the person who cast the evil eye can be determined from the shapes.
So, what is it, like, in general? Like, is it just, like, jealousy? Just, like...
I think, yeah, that's what it said, is, like, it's often stems from jealousy, is what a lot of cultures think, but sometimes you don't even have to have the intention. Like, you can just have the evil eye and curse people. I don't know.
Crazy.
It seems to vary.
Yeah, that's true.
It's tempting to view the evil eye as an ancient, discredited belief that plays no role in our 21st century world. Instead, as folklorist Dundees notes, we should keep in mind that the evil eye is not some old-fashioned superstitious belief of interest solely to antiquarians, which are like people that go antiquing, I guess. The evil eye continues to be a powerful factor affecting the behavior of countless millions of people throughout the world. Though belief in the evil eye can be a harmless superstition, it can also be dangerous in some circumstances. Anytime one person believes that another has harmed them, whether naturally or supernaturally, intentionally or accidentally, there is the potential for deadly retribution. Like other accused witches and sorcerers over the centuries, many people have been attacked, beaten, and killed for casting an evil eye.
Oh my god. That's crazy. Ooh. They take that shit seriously.
Yeah, I mean, and it is kind of interesting, because eyes are really powerful. Like, we say so much with our eyes and do so much with our eyes. I could see where people would think it was power, I don't know, magic, that you could curse someone with your dirty licks, because it affects so much feeling, like someone giving you a stink eye.
Mm-hmm. And like, why are you looking at me like that, you know?
Don't you look at me in that tone of voice.
That's right. I'm gonna beat you.
Alright, so my next one is called the Hope Diamond Curse. Some curses seem to have neither motive nor purpose. The Hope Diamond is supposed to bear such a curse and bring misfortune to its owner. It is a beautiful blue diamond weighing over 45 carats, about the size of a walnut. The stone is estimated to be worth $250 million.
God damn, I need that for my engagement ring. I'm just saying.
You'll fall the fuck over. Carl Schucker, in his book, The Unexplained, relates the origin of this jeopardous gem. It sparkled in the brow of an Indian temple until it was impishly plucked out by a thieving Hindu priest, whose punishment for this unholy act was a slow and agonizing death. It was apparently unearthed in the Golconda mines by the Kisna River in southwest India, and made its European debut in 1642 when it was brought by a French merchant who sold it to King Louis XVI for a handsome profit, but was mauled to death by a pack of wild dogs.
Okay, I take that back. I don't want it.
You don't want it. The diamond remained with the French royal family until it was stolen in 1792 during the French Revolution. Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, who were beheaded, are often cited as victims of the curse. The diamond was missing for a few decades and was recut into a smaller gem. There are unconfirmed reports that it belonged to Britain's King George VI, whose estate sold it to pay off his enormous debts. In 1839, the diamond was acquired by Henry Thomas Hope, which is how it got its name. After Hope's death, the diamond passed through the hands of several owners. The misfortune attributed to the diamond would strain the imagination of soap opera writers. Owners committed suicide, were murdered, and left penniless through bad investments. Those who came in contact with the diamond suffered failed marriages, dead children, drug addiction, insanity, and probably bad hair days and paper cuts as well.
Damn, son. I mean, hey, the rich can't have everything. I'm just saying.
And paper cuts suck ass, so...
They really do. Oh my god. Especially in between your fingers. The worst.
Terrible. Alright, this next one. King Tut's Curse. The alleged mummy curse is on the tomb of King Tut. It was discovered when the Earl of Carnarvon and Howard Carter excavated King Tut's burial chamber in 1922. Legend has it that it is in an antechamber. They found an inscribed clay tablet which read, "Death will slay with its wings whoever disturbs the peace of the pharaoh."
Ooh.
6 months later, Carnarvon died of an infected mosquito bite. Even though 6 of the 7 principal members of the excavation team experienced strange or sudden deaths thought to have been the result of the curse. The tablet was never photographed, and it strangely disappeared from the artifacts. Bob Breyer, an American parapsychologist and Egyptologist, speculated that the tablet never existed. In ancient Egyptian magic, Breyer notes that it is not typically Egyptian to write on clay tablets or to refer to death as having wings. Also, no other reliable sources exist that cite the curse.
Aliens.
I don't know, man. The Egyptians sure do have a lot of involvement with aliens. I'll tell you what.
I know. I'll tell you what. I know, that is true. I don't think... I mean, wings? Isn't there like a goddess with wings? But these people would obviously know a lot more than I do.
Well, I don't know. It kind of seems like maybe they found it and they were cursed, and that's part of the curse is that it disappears. I don't know.
Huh.
Maybe it wasn't translated properly. I don't know.
True. Yeah, that's true.
All right. My next one is my favorite.
Ooh.
Tecumseh's curse, also called the Curse of the Tippecanoe, stems from an 1809 dispute between U.S. President William Henry Harrison and Shawnee Indian leader Tecumseh. Some believe the curse is the reason that Harrison and every following president up to Kennedy, who was elected in a year ending in 0, died in office. Here's a little background.
Snap.
In 1840, William Henry Harrison won the presidency with the slogan, "Tippecanoe and Tyler too," which referenced Harrison's role in the American victory at the Battle of Tippecanoe in 1811. While Tecumseh was the leader of the Shawnee, the opposing side in the battle, his hatred for Harrison actually dated back to 1809. While governor of the Indiana Territory, Harrison negotiated a treaty with Native Americans in which the Shawnee ceded large tracts of land to the U.S. government. Angered by what he considered Harrison's unfair tactics in negotiating the deal, Tecumseh and his brother organized a group of local tribes and attacked Harrison's army, thus starting the Battle of Tippecanoe. During the War of 1812, Harrison further reinforced his anti-native reputation when he defeated the British and the tribes that aided them in the Battle of Thames. This additional defeat and the loss of more land to the American government is purportedly what drove Tecumseh's brother, Pinskawadawa, known by the Shawnee as the Prophet, to place a curse of death on all future U.S. presidents elected in the year ending in a 0.
Dang. That's crazy.
Guess what presidential year we're having next?
Woo! 2020!
Dun dun dun!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Harrison's death. So he was elected president with almost 53% of the vote, but he barely had a chance to settle in the office before his death. After delivering a very long inaugural address on a cold and windy day, he was stuck in a rainstorm and caught a serious cold, which would eventually turn into the severe pneumonia infection that killed him only 30 days later. Harrison's inauguration was on March 4th, and he died on April 4th, 1841. Wow. His death was first in a series of tragedies that struck presidents winning an election at the start of a new decade, a pattern that would become known as Tecumseh's curse, or the curse of Tippecanoe. Abraham Lincoln was elected in 1860 as the first person to run under the Republican Party. The United States quickly moved into a civil war, which would last from 1861 to 1865. On April 9th, General Robert E. Lee surrendered to General Ulysses S. Grant, thereby ending the rift that was tearing apart the nation. Only 5 days later, on April 14, 1865, Lincoln was assassinated by Southern sympathizer John Wilkes Booth.
Damn, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. Kind of scrolling down, there's a few of these.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Don't piss off. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. Mine gets pretty crazy, too.
Don't be an asshole, and asshole things won't happen.
Yeah! Especially, like, if it's on, like, sacred ground, and they're casting this, like, you're fudged. Like, you're donezo, man. Sacred land is powerful.
James Garfield was elected to the presidency in 1880. He took office on March 4th, 1881. On July 2nd, 1881, Charles J. Whittier shot the president, which eventually led to his death on September 19th, 1881. The mentally unbalanced Whittier was upset because he had been denied a diplomatic post by the Garfield administration. He was eventually hung for his crime in 1882.
Yeah. He only had a year. That's crazy.
He was elected, and yeah. William McKinley was elected to his second term in 1900. Once again, he defeated his opponent, William Jennings Bryan, as he had in 1896. On September 6, 1901, McKinley was shot by Leon F. Chologus. McKinley died on September 14th. Chologus called himself an anarchist and admitting to killing the president because he was the enemy of the people. He was electrocuted in October of 1901.
Damn.
Right. Warren G. Harding, elected 1920, is widely known as one of the worst presidents of all time. Scandals such as the Teapot Dome and others marred his presidency. On August 2nd, 1923, Harding was visiting San Francisco on a cross-country voyage of understanding to meet people across the nation. He suffered a stroke and died at the Palace Hotel.
Oh, snap. He sounds like a cool guy. I want to learn more about him. How did you suck so bad, Warren? What did you do?
Right, I've heard of him too, but I don't know a lot about him either. 1920.
What is the Teapot Dome?
What a time to be alive.
Is that a naughty house?
I don't know. He went, what is the voyage of understanding?
It just, it's understanding of the voyage.
I want to go. Next up is Franklin Roosevelt. He was elected to his third term in 1940. He would be elected again in 1944. His presidency began in the depths of the Great Depression and ended shortly after the fall of Hitler in World War II. He died on April 12, 1945, of a cerebral hemorrhage. Since he was elected during one of his terms in a year that ended with a 0, he is considered part of Tecumseh's curse. Next up is John F. Kennedy. He became the youngest elected president upon his victory in 1960. This charismatic leader suffered some highs and lows during his short term in office, including the Bay of Pigs invasion, the creation of the Berlin Wall, and the Cuban Missile Crisis. On November 22nd, 1963, Kennedy was riding in a motorcade through Dallas and was assassinated. Lee Harvey Oswald was found to be guilty as a lone gunman by the Warren Commission. However, many people still question whether more individuals were involved in a conspiracy to kill the president.
Yeah, that's definitely a whole conspiracy cumbuckle of itself.
Everything with JFK. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, Ronald Reagan, in 1980, he became the oldest man to be elected president. This actor-turned-politician also suffered highs and lows during his 2 terms in office. He is seen as being an important figure in the breakdown of the former Soviet Union. However, his presidency was tarnished by the Iran-Contra scandal. On March 30th, 1981, John Hinckley attempted to assassinate Reagan in Washington, D.C. Reagan was shot, but was able to survive with quick medical attention. Reagan was the first to foil Tecumseh's curse, and some hypothesize the president who finally broke it for good.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. After that was George W. Bush. He was elected in the curse-active year of 2000. He survived 2 assassination attempts and several alleged plots during his 2 terms in office. While some devotees of the curse suggest that the assassination attempts themselves were the Tecumseh's work, every president since Nixon has been the victim of at least one assassination plot.
Dang.
Which I thought I didn't really realize, but it's kind of crazy that that hasn't happened to Trump at all, with how much hate.
Yeah,
I'm really
true.
surprised that we haven't heard of that at all. I mean, there are a lot of people that are really like him, but just, I don't know, with all the crazy that's in the world now, and
yes,
all the anger that people have,
true.
I'm just surprised.
Maybe, because he's so controversial, air quote, whatever you want to believe or whatever, the security is hyped up, so much. Maybe people just don't even stand a chance.
That's what I was thinking, that we've just gotten better at protecting our people.
Yeah, and, sensing and, training and stuff like that.
And not putting him in situations where that's even a possibility. For sure.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump was elected in 2016. He's considered immune from the curse, at least for his first term. The next presidential election will be held in November 2020. Tecumseh will be watching.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Do you think... I don't want to get into politics, but I guess we'll just have to see if he'll win the second round. Anywho's-er. That's crazy. Oh my god. That's a lot of freaking people.
Yeah.
And for so long. Oh my god.
Anyway. What do you have for me, Dolly?
I have The Curse of the Bridgewater Triangle in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. It's in the center of a 200-mile area known as the Bridgewater Triangle. So it all began in about 300 AD to colonial times. Many Native American tribes depended on the swamp as an abundant source of game. These people revered the swamp for its bounty and used some areas in there for sacred burial grounds. In doing my research, it seemed like there was quite a few, maybe 5 different Indian tribes in this area. So the Wampanoag tribe both worshipped and feared the area, as the chief deity of death and disease, called the Hobomok, was said to dwell in the swamp.
These names are so funny. Hobo.
I know, Hobomok.
The tippy canoe. I just assumed that they were really bad boaters.
Right.
Anyway, continue.
But so the Wampanoag tribe members actually welcomed the Pilgrims, and the early English colonist called the swamp the Devil's Swamp. And then this is where it kind of gets a little tricky. So in the 17th century, the swamp was used as a fortress by the Wampanoag Indians against invasion by early settlers. It was only used against the English settlers, or it was not only used against the English settlers, but also by other tribes that they did not have peace with. So during King Philip's War, it became a strategic base of operations for Chief Metacomet, which I think that's a really cool name, to launch assaults upon the nearby English settlements. So the Wampanoag knew the swamp very well. I mean, obviously they grew up in and around it, and the English settlers, it's just like, they don't know it that well, so it was better for the Indians to draw them in there so that they could be like, pew, 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 and, you know, kill them.
Yeah.
So.
Yikes.
So this war was the greatest calamity in the 17th century, and is considered by many to be the deadliest war in the colonial American history, due to the bloodshed and their sacred lands not being respected. Many believe this awakened many evil spirits who would wreak havoc on anyone who stepped foot on their land. So, I basically what I'm going to be doing is just listing out all the weird and creepy stuff that has happened in this triangle. And there's more stuff, but I had to chop it down just to kind of fit within here. According to one tale, the Native Americans had cursed the swamp centuries ago because of the poor treatment they received from the colonial settlers. One revered object of the Wampanoag people is a belt known as the wampum belt.
Sorry.
Wampum. This was lost during the King Philip's War. Legend says the area owes its paranormal unrest to the fact that this belt was lost from the native people. It sounded like it might have been like a peace treaty from another tribe to their tribe.
Huh.
And then they just kept it as like a, sacred something special.
Yeah.
It's believed that the natives curse the land and those who enter their land, with many deaths and spirits that haunt the land. Here are a few claims made. Animal mutilations. And, whenever there's animal mutilations, there's some aliens in there, but this might be a little dark. So I feel like I should say a disclaimer.
Content warning. Yeah.
Strong content warning. The following in this podcast contains graphic language that might be unsettling to some users.
Viewer discretion advised. This is also an explicit podcast, and it's labeled as explicit because we're adults and we use explicit language.
Curse.
So. But anyway, just in
boy.
case you don't want to hear about animal mutilations, you can skip probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I'd say 30 seconds. I don't go into depth about animals. It's more like people coming up. So, various incidents of animal mutilation have been reported, particularly in Freetown and Fall River, where local police were called to investigate mutilated animals, believed to be a work of a cult. In 1998, there was a report of one single cow was found butchered in the woods, the other in which a group of calves were discovered in a clearing, grotesquely mutilated as part of a ritual sacrifice. There are reports of many other animal skulls that seem to be left in a formation that might suggest cult-like activity or satanic rituals. Yeah.
You think aliens did it?
Some people believe, because it's not only cows, it's other animals that live there, but these ones I'm going to talk about are cults.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in the 1980s, when a bog worker complained of trespassers converging onto his shack dressed in black robes, and when the man contacted the police, investigators found a large pentagram in the ground, as well as a design made up of carefully placed stones, like what you were saying, maybe cursing stones. The pentagram was taken away and the stones dispersed, but when authorities visited the scene the following day, both the pentagram and the stone configurations were reported to be back to precisely where they had been before they had been removed. This was connected to the work of satanic cults performing dark rituals in the area.
I see.
So besides animal sacrifices in the swamps and the woods of the Bridgewater Triangle, there have been also other bodies that have been found, human bodies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is where it kind of gets a little dark. In 2015, the bodies of 2 women were found in the woods near the border of Brockton and Abington. Many of their body parts were severed, including a foot, a calf, and part of an arm. The bodies were placed on top of one another, and there were more signs of ritualistic activities. However, the perpetrators of these mutilations were never caught, and no one knows to this day what group or individual was doing it.
That's weird.
Yeah. In 1940, a mysterious crime revolves around the place known as the Ice Shack, a small building constructed for the purpose of lodging during the 1940s. It has long been determined that cult activities and drug dealing had been carried out in the structure, a string of vicious killings by a pimp, and alleged satanic cult leader by the name of Carl Drew. So, I welcome everybody to kind of maybe research Carl Drew a little bit more, because the story was so in-depth, like, he needs his own episode entirely. So I just cherry-picked and cut the story. So
maybe we can do
cults.
Cults would be cool.
Cults are serial killers? I like cults. Let's do that. Yeah. So Drew was known for using his Satanism to keep his prostitutes in line, threatening them with human sacrifice or worse if they stepped out of line.
God.
Yeah.
Serious.
He's insane. Insane. On October 13th, 1979, the brutally mutilated corpse of prostitute Donna Levinsky was found, and 2 alleged witnesses, prostitutes Karen Marston, who was 20, and Robin Murphy, who was 18, explained later it had been a ritual killing carried out by Drew near the Ice Shack.
Ugh.
Yeah. What happened was Martison had allegedly been repulsed by the violence and sought to break free from the cult. So I guess he was kind of known to, do like the animal sacrifice and just like a lot of like sick shit. So she decided she wanted to break free from this cult and run away. However, it didn't work and he found her. Martison had allegedly had her hair and fingernails ripped out while she was still alive, and she had been savagely beaten over the head with stones until Drew had then snapped her neck. Her head was then cut off and kicked around by other cult members. Her fingers had been removed to steal her rings, and a large X had been carved across her chest. The other prostitute, Murphy, would eventually testify in court to her part in the murders as well as Drew's brutality and would receive a life sentence.
Jesus.
Drew, who had been implicated in the killing of Donna and suspected of at least one other murder of a prostitute, was found guilty of the murder of Martison on March 13th, 1981, and he would receive further prison time when he was convicted of assault with a deadly weapon on yet another prostitute.
Psycho.
Yeah. And then, on September 8th, 1978, Mary Lou Ardua was seen riding her bicycle near her home in Raynham around 4 p.m. At 4:30, the girl's bicycle was found abandoned by the side of the road with a skid mark from a car and a cigarette right beside it. Several witnesses would come forward to report that they had seen a green car with a black racing stripe speeding away from the scene around the time the girl was thought to have gone missing. After intensive police search that was launched into the area of where she was last known, they found her decomposing body on November 11th, 1978. She was tied to a tree within the Freetown State Forest, so within the Triangle. It was determined that the girl had still been alive when she was beaten and battered and had been tied to a tree in a standing position. And when she had lost consciousness, the weight of her body had caused the stress of her neck, ensuing asphyxia. It was determined that she died the same day she had gone missing. Authorities tracked down a man by the name of James Cater, where he would eventually be found guilty for separate 1968 incident in which he was convicted of assault with the intent to rape, assault, and battery with a dangerous weapon, and kidnapping of a woman in Andover. So a different woman.
This all happened in that place?
Yep. Mm-hmm. So he was sentenced to life in prison, but to this day denies having anything to do with her, but with the other, attempted assault. He's like, oh, yeah, that chick I did, but the chick in the forest, I had nothing to do with.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
Oh, I had to save all my thoughts for the ending. I have, Dolly's thoughts and everything, but I was just gonna say, you can definitely tell this place just attracts just evil. Evil.
Yeah.
So, it's not only adults that act strange. Multiple children have gone missing in the Bridgewater Triangle, and a few were actually never found. So, in 1934, little Aldi was playing with his sister when suddenly witnesses nearby heard a horrifying scream. When they went to see what was wrong, the boy was gone. Hundreds of volunteers and police searched for the boy, but there was no trace of him. 24 hours later, the boy just walked up out of the woods with a bundle of mud and twigs and asked the rescuer if they would like to buy some flowers.
Oh, God.
I know! He seemed healthy and said he had absolutely no memory of the past day. The only thing he did remember was that he was compelled to go pick flowers because that would make him rich. So, to this day, no one knew where he went or how he was unharmed in the swamp overnight.
Did he say how old he was?
I could be wrong, but I think he was 6.
Oh my God. That's insane.
Yeah. So, in the Bridgewater Triangle, there is the ledge. So, the most infamous of these locations is a 80-foot deep rock quarry known as the Assinet Ledge, or simply the Ledge. This area was once owned by the Fall River Granite Company and has become associated with a range of weird phenomena. I love that word. Phenomena. The quarry has an inordinate amount of abandoned cars left there and is a location for numerous suicides. Visitors to the ledge have reported feeling overcome with an urgent and unshakable sense of dread and foreboding when venturing near the quarry, and the area has been rumored to be an alleged hotspot for Satanists and strange cults, as well as ghost sightings. There are numerous reports of people seeing ghosts jumping off of the ledge only to disappear before they hit the water, or merely standing ominously at the top of the ledge.
Yikes. It sounds like a bunch of nope.
Yeah, a hell of a lot of nope. So much stuff going on. With this ledge, people who have no inkling of, families reported, no suicidal thoughts, people are happy and they just want to be tourists and they just want to check it out, but as soon as they get there, they just get this urge of, you need to jump, or they're just, hypnotized into jumping to their death.
Yeah, and the guy that said, willfully admitted to the other crime that he committed, but, said he had no memory of the other one. I'd really like to know more about him and what went down. How adamant was he that he didn't commit it?
Yeah, definitely. Because that one, I don't know, tied up to a tree and, so sick. And, out of all the places you could take a person...
why pick their...
Eek. Yeah.
Was it super close to where he was? Or was it, was it out of the way? I don't know. I'm interested.
So early on, the forest was said to have been home to a race of humanoid creatures known as puckwedgies. I love this word. But they're anything but cute, okay?
Okay.
Long known in Delaware and the Wampanoag Indian folklore, these troll-like creatures generally described to be about 3 to 4 feet tall, with smooth, hairy gray skin and large ears. They have a notorious reputation for mischief and mayhem. They were once said to have been friendly to humans, but later turned against them. The puckwedgies are known to intentionally startle people, throw rocks or sand in their faces, push or shove them, kidnap them, like that little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're like, you need to come with me?
Mm-hmm.
Hurl people off of cliffs.
Oh, God.
Like that cliff. Wrestle with them or even attack them with knives or spears. The creatures are also said to be competent magic users and shapeshifters. The natives of the area have long given these creatures a wide berth, claiming that they are not to be approached or trifled with. Their magic is believed to compel humans to want to jump off of a cliff. Yeah, like I said. Although this may seem, at first glance, as nothing more than spooky folklore, there are numerous visitors to the forest who have claimed to see such creatures, and the mischievous beasts have been blamed as the cause of unusual number of people who have supposedly fallen from cliffs to their deaths in the area.
Yikes.
I know, it just keeps going! Along with the puckwedgies, people have been reports of seeing Bigfoot, aka Sasquatch, UFOs, ominous black helicopters, mysterious balls of light, poltergeist activity, cattle mutilations. Law officers and reports say that a giant black pterodactyl-like creature with 8 to 12 feet wingspan is seen by the swamp. Some say this large creature is a mythical thunderbird prominent in the local Native American mythology. Others have reported seeing vicious red-eyed dogs and giant snakes.
What in the fuck?
This place, I'm telling you, it's insane. It's 100% cursed, without a doubt. Like, it is just, I'm gonna get into it. Anyways. Black UFOs are believed to be UFOs disguised as something that we might recognize or not be alarmed of. So there's like 2 theories. One theory is that it's actually like the FBI that basically fly around in these unmarked helicopters, or it could just be UFOs disguising themselves as something that we might recognize and we might not be alarmed if we see it. But it's not like the helicopters are, like, flying by. There's reports of, like, the helicopters, like, hovering in an area for, like, hours.
Like, either our military observing or, like, aliens observing, maybe? Or maybe there's some kind of, like, energy source there?
Yep. And then reports of a fire in the sky. So ever since the first UFO sighting, people have said sometimes they see a sphere of light in the night sky so bright it lights up entire towns. But if you were to actually go where, like, the ball of lights were beaming from, there's no trace or remnants of a fire. For example, if you see it across, like, the lake and you walk over there, you won't see anything. But then if you, like, walk back to where you were originally standing and you look across the lake, like, it would be there.
It's so freaking weird.
Weird shit. There's... I thought this was funny because I'm a day walker, so I have a red tint to my hair. So there's a creepy red-headed hitchhiker, and I'm offended.
Oh, man.
So one of the most famous legends of the Bridgewater Triangle is a couple who were driving down Route 44 in October 1984 when their car broke down. Last place you want to be if your car breaks down, I'm just saying.
Right. Oh, God.
Oh.
I ain't driving through it.
No, I ain't going nowhere near this area. As the man walked up the road on his way to find a payphone, he saw a red-headed stranger. He asked the man for help, but the man was silent. Upon asking a second time, the man noticed that the stranger's face was contorted and ghostly.
Ooh.
Out of fright, the man ran back to his car to tell his wife, who he found standing outside the car terrified. When he asked her what was wrong, she said that she turned on the radio and heard deranged laughter and a taunting voice that called her by her name.
That's so scary.
Insert puke. I hate it.
Why is it relevant that he has red hair? Like, why did they have to put that in there? It's fucked up.
Maybe he's a devil? I don't know.
He doesn't have a soul?
Maybe. I don't know, but please leave me alone. I'm so sorry. We're not making fun of you, mister. This next one, I found a ton of different stories. Pretty, like, too recent. Like, this still goes on. So, apparently there's a ghost trucker with a bad case of road rage. So, they always say, beware of the mad trucker on Copacabana Road in Fall River. Legend has it that there is a ghostly truck, and it's like a semi-truck, from what I gather, with a loud horn that terrorizes motorists, particularly tourists, at night. Witnesses have seen headlights coming toward them and heard the truck's horn blast, and seen a driver in their rear mirror. If you manage to stay on the road and not be drove into a ditch... So basically if you manage to fucking stay on the road, because he's like chicken, like, or just trying to push you off, and he drives past you, and you look in your rear view mirror to be like, who the fuck is that guy? There won't be any truck.
That's crazy.
So he'll pass you and then just, like, disappear.
That's something that scares me a lot. Spooky, scary drivers. People doing dumb shit. Yikes.
Mm-hmm,
I get real frazzled about angry drivers.
Yeah. Which is kind of, like, random. Like, you have, like, puck wedgies, and you have, like, all these cryptids, and then also you have a ghost trucker?
Mm-hmm. Like, there's nothing, like, consistent. There's just a bunch of random shit.
Yeah.
Maybe all the
Random
Satanists
bad
doing
shit.
their stupid Satanist stuff, like, opened up some portal.
You are on to something, my friend. Some say that the area has been cursed by Native American spirits because the land was taken from the Wampanoag people. Others believe that the area emanates negative and destructive energy because of the brutal conflict between many early settlers and the Native American people of the region during the King Philip's War. By the end of the war, nearly 3,000 Wampanoag men, women, and children were killed or sold into slave ships bound for the West Indies. Some say it is haunted by these many people who have lost their lives and their land, yet others believe that this area is a vortex or a window where the laws of gravity seem not to operate in the way as understood in the natural world. So, Dolly, thoughts?
What do you think, Dolly?
Like I said, 100% believe it's cursed, but I also believe that it's also a negative vortex because of all, like, the Satanists and the killings and everything.
Kind of like what I just said.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of, like, broke down the differences between a positive and, like, a negative vortex. So, a positive vortex, example, like, Sedona. I love me my Sedona, Arizona. It's more than just a beautiful, peaceful landscape with pretty twisty trees that seem to grow in a shape of positive energy that radiates around the sacred land. But it is also thought to be swirling centers of energy that are conducive to healing, meditation, and self-exploration. These are places where the earth seems to be especially alive with positive energy. Many people feel inspired and recharged or uplifted after visiting a vortex.
There's something to be said about, like, vibrations and positive impacts of vibration, certain frequencies of vibrations, like, what comes to my mind is cats purring. They purr at a frequency which is, like, conducive to healing the human body.
Charlie, because he has, like, real bad anxiety and stuff, he actually sent me a text saying, I don't know the term, it's like 4:40
Hertz?
p.m. or that is conducive to relaxation and actually calming the body. And then there's other, like, music, like horror music, that's meant to keep you on edge and creepy crawly and stuff
Different
like that.
frequencies, yeah. Interesting.
Also in Sedona, it's very popular for, like, alien sightings and other stuff like that. But just like the yin and the yang, you have to have the positive and the negative. So just like a positive vortex, there are also negative vortexes. The most popular and common negative vortex, I believe, is known as Skinwalker Ranch. I bring it up all the time. So I encourage you guys to look into it.
So good.
Or maybe I'll cover it. It's insane.
We could do a whole episode just on that.
We could, yeah. It's so long and it's... The FBI, like, literally took it over. They're like, nah, this is ours
And
now.
there's, like, not a whole lot of information about it either. There's, like, the personal accounts, but then you can't find any information about it at all.
So crazy. There could be multiple reasons for negative energy vortex to be created. And some of the most common reasons are, there's a nodal point. So that's a negative energy vortex that can be created over time at an intersection and nodal point of two negatively charged Earth energy lines. It is most commonly found at an intersection of where the point lies. Black magic. One of the most common reasons for a negative energy vortex to be created at home or workplace is due to the effect of black magic. And the energy vortex also acts as a portal for the dark and negative energies to pass through. Thus, black magic and negative portals are almost correlated, and if more than one negative energy vortex is found in a home or place, then it can safely be assumed it is due to the effect of some sort of dark ritual practice.
Yikes.
Okay. Number 3 is crematorium. If there is a crematorium in the vicinity of a home or workplace or area, then the possibility of negative energy vortex being in the area automatically increases. I didn't find any cases of, like, any bodies being burned, but there's definitely a lot of murder.
Well, isn't that kind of a satanic thing too? Like the burning of dead animals? If there's, like, cults practicing satanic rituals.
Yeah, like hearts.
Yeah, burning.
True.
I don't know.
And then, and the last one, like I said, ultimately death in cases of accidental, untimely, or unhappy death. A negative energy vortex gets created in that location. So basically, the Bridgewater Triangle, in my words, has all the fixins for a negative vortex.
I want to know more about this. I'm interested.
It goes on. There's, like, what's it called? Like, the Rosetta Stone. It's like a stone with, like, writing on it. They found this big-ass rock in the bottom of, like, where a river is, and it has ancient handwritings. That's, like, not native. I mean, there's some native, but it's, like, not of that area. Like, it's insane. It dates, like, they don't even know how this rock, like, got there.
That's weird.
It's crazy.
Makes me think of another place that's, like, a negative vortex area. Datlov's Pass. We watched a thing about it together, where the group of hikers were found, and they had their tongues cut out, and they all had removed their clothing in, like, negative degree weather.
Yeah, and their tents were, like, shredded.
I can't remember if this is from the actual story, because there's a movie about it. I've talked about it before. It's a really freaking good movie. I told you to watch it. Devil's Pass.
Yeah.
They end up
I haven't watched
finding out that it's, like, a negative vortex or whatever because of something, and there's, like, these time portals. It even goes into, like, the Philadelphia experiment. It was, like, something that the CIA did that opened up portals, basically, and I don't know. If you haven't seen it, I mean, it's kind of, like, not A+ horror movie, but it's a really good storyline. It goes into that a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's based on
the events at Datlov's
story.
Pass really happened. I don't know. They don't know what the fuck happened to those people, but it's pretty weird.
Yeah. Maybe we should do that one, too. I'll do Skinwalker, or you do Skinwalker, and I'll do this one, or... Whichever.
I don't even know what that would fit into. What category is that? Weird shit? We'll just make a weird shit episode. Vortexes. We could do vortexes, like positive and negative vortexes. Yeah. That would be cool.
Fluff and love vortexes. Hell yeah. Yeah, I want to learn more about, like, the CIA, like, and that involvement of stuff, because you know a lot more about, like, the CIA's, like, involvement and, like, that kind of creepy stuff, so I need to know more.
Right. Shady shit.
Have you ever been to Sedona?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I have to take you.
I look at pictures all the time. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. There's this, Peace Park, and it's, like, a little, like, Hindu... I think it's like Hindu. There's like a temple, and then there's like Buddha, and then there's prayer flags everywhere, but it's just like, as soon as you just kind of like walk up and you like enter this area, like it's just the most peaceful, the most calm, serene, like area, and people just go there just to like meditate and walk around the little temple and say their prayers, and not to get cheesy, but I was like, I got like a little emotional because I was just like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. So yeah, it's like,
I love that. Okay, so there you guys have it. We talked about curses and magic. I gave a little brief history on what curses are and cultures that practice them. There's still so much information out there that just we couldn't get into this episode, but I hope you enjoyed what we had and can do some further research on things, and let us know if you enjoyed that episode or if you have any comments about any of the things that we talked about.
This was a fun one, and we really just want to get to know our ghosties. So click on that feedback link and
take the
let us know your thoughts.
Take it! We'll talk to you next week.
Bye!
Later!
That wraps up the Spooky Scary Show. If you've enjoyed this podcast, click that like or follow button. We are available on Spotify, iTunes, and all major podcast streaming services. Spooky Scary Show is an independent podcast with big dreams. So if you would like to show your support, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/Spooky Scary Show. Also, join in on the conversation. Follow us on Instagram at Spooky Scary Show for science and spooky facts. Scare you later. Spooky.